Hi guys! What makes food so tasty? You might say, a skillful cook, high-quality materials, and recipes passed down and improved upon from generation to generation. Whereas that's true, you'd be shocked to be told that there is a good deal of food found on accident. That's right. Rather than complimenting the cook, generally you'll be able to give thanks to the universe for the twists of fate that created awesomeness within the variety of these accidental foods. So, today we have to focus on 10 foods that were invented accidentally. Please keep watching, and you should hit the like button and subscribe to watch fantastic videos to enhance your knowledge. Number 10. Tofu. Tofu turned into invented using historical Chinese, and there are more than one origin testimony. One legend tells of a cook who dropped a coagulant named nigari into a pot of soy milk. Every other claim that boiled soybeans have been combined with salt and contain calcium and magnesium, which precipitated it to congeal. Number 9. Yogurt. While you visit the supermarket, you will see entire sections committed to dairy merchandise, including a group of different yogurts. Still, many humans do not now recognize how yogurt is genuinely made. To make yogurt, you want to feature enzymes and microorganisms to exploit, which sounds gross, but at its middle, it's miles merely every other type of fermentation. As we know it nowadays, yogurt originated in primary Asia around 2,500 years ago, and it came into being after more than one goat herder determined to shop their goat milk in animal stomachs, which unsurprisingly incorporates microorganisms. They subsequently observed that the milk gained a thicker texture, and fortuitously for us, at the least one of those herders turned into courageous sufficient to taste it rather than throwing it away. Number 8. Nashville Hot Chicken. Many consider Nashville's town to be the home of country music, but it is also the birthplace of a dish called Nashville Hot Chicken, which is a type of fried chicken seasoned with cayenne pepper and served with pickle slices on top of some white bread. In the 1930s, this local specialty was invented, and believe it or not, thanks to Thornton Prince's Passionate, people came now to enjoy it. One day, one of his lady friends tried to get him back by making him some very spicy chicken, but he ended up liking the chicken so much that he began making it himself. Prince was a well-known feminizer. Number 7. Worcestershire Sauce. Two chemists from Worcester, pronounced Woo-ster, called John Wheely Lee and William Henry Perrins, whose last names you may be acquainted with, invented Worcestershire sauce. Nobody is quite sure how they got their hands on the formula. Still, they found it unpalatable after first cooking it. So they stashed the barrels in the corner of the basement of their pharmacy and forgot about them. But the mixture had fermented and fully transformed into flavor when they rediscovered them a few years later, while trying to clear out some room. In 1838, Worcestershire sauce from Leah and Perrins were first marketed to the public. Number 6. Potato chips. A client at a hotel named Moon's Lake in the resort town of Saratoga Springs, New York, complained in 1853, as legend has it, that his fried potatoes were not adequately crispy and sent them back to the kitchen. George Crumb, the disappointed cook, wanted to cut the potatoes as thin as humanly possible and fry them. And the result was a big success. Potato chips were called Saratoga chips for decades after their discovery. Number 5. Corn Flakes. In the late 1890s, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg and his brother, Will Keith Kellogg, ran a sanatorium in Battle Creek, Michigan. The pair mistakenly left wheatberry cooking in the kitchen while looking for foods to feed their patients that were part of their strictly vegetarian diet, causing the kernels to flake. With their newly discovered breakfast food, they started to experiment, finally experimenting with maize and making the cornflakes that we know and love today. So here's a common food that people 100 years ago despised eating. Number 4. Beer. According to the Smithsonian, the oldest beer reference in history is from the 6th century BC in Samaria. No one is 100% positive, but most people assume beer was invented by mistake during bread making. Horst Dornbusch, beer consultant and author, told Smithsonian that someone probably made bread outdoors before stopping rainfall, Then they return to the fermented liquid after forgetting about the wet dough. Don't skip these fascinating details about anything. Number 3. Champagne. Initially, the bubbles in champagne were considered a severe problem for the Champagne region. Climate changes beginning in the 1490s caused temperatures to fall, causing a shorter growing season. The result was tragic for fermentation. The yeast that transformed sugars into grape juice alcohol would stop working too early and lie dormant until the spring that followed. The yeast will begin a second fermentation as the weather warmed back up, creating carbon dioxide in the juice. The secondary fermentation contributed to the push out of stoppers and the exploding of bottles, but the effects were miraculous until these bubbles were harnessed. Number 2. Chocolate chip cookies. A woman named Ruth Wakefield, the owner of a successful Massachusetts restaurant called the Toll House Inn, is credited with inventing the cookie in the 1930s. There are a few distinct versions of the origin story of the famous cookie. One notes after running out of baker's chocolate, Wakefield replaced Nestle's semi-sweet chocolate in cookies, hoping that they would melt. Other claims that the vibrations from the big mixer dislodged Nestle's chocolate from the shelf above it, pouring the chocolate in a good luck stroke into the batter. Anyway, both of these tales may be apocryphal. Wakefield was a professional baker and most likely knew what she was doing exactly. Either way, cookies and chocolate chips have gone down as a happy accident. Number 1. Popsicles. When he invented the popsicle, Frank Epperson was 11 years old. Epperson left his concoction outside after playing with a combination of water and powdered soda mix. With his wooden stir stick stuck inside, it froze overnight. He tasted it and realized that he had something good on his lips. Around the city and finally at amusement parks, Epperson sold his popsicles. He licensed his product as an adult, but his children couldn't get used to the brand, calling them Popsicles. Sadly, Epperson couldn't afford to keep the company, sold it, and later said that he never got his creation's financial reward. There you go, guys. If you enjoyed the video, click on the like button, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon to get the regular updates to watch more such informative videos.